Sam Smith said last night was the best of his life. This guy, he won 4 Grammys.
Unbelievable. And the show always delivers on duets like Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga, Dwight Yoakam and Brandy Clark, Sir Tom Jones and Jessie J.
Yeah, it was another on-stage collaboration that stood out to Steve King from CD 105.9. He's here with Chi from Channel 94.1.
Should we explain the
How do you guys got going
ensembles?
on
How
here?
you like my Pharrell hat? This is my Pharrell hat.
That's 2014 for
I know. I didn't have a bellhop hat,
Then you
otherwise
keep-
I would have worn a
You
bellhop.
keep putting it on crooked, which
That's-
makes it
no,
less
that's how
Pharrell.
he wore it.
You wore crooked, yeah.
It was a little more
You were
It
parallel.
was more disheveled than I have
Okay,
this
and
one.
then she
So you got a
with
I
the
wore a
tutu.
tutu that was real popular last night on the red carpet.
You saw a lot of tutu.
I mean, Rihanna just wore a pink tutu.
It was
yeah,
a whole
that's true.
lot.
That thing was
Yeah.
A
massive.
whole lot of fat. You could see her in the audience from a mile away.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah,
That
This is
was
good. So
cool.
what do you think overall? I guess what was the highlight of the night for, Steve, we'll start with you.
All right, my highlight was Jeff Lynne from ELO and the Traveling Wilburys and Ed Sheeran. The two of them together doing Mr. Blue Sky, which is like one of my favorite songs. That performance to me was unreal. And Jeff Lynne was supposedly so nervous the night before at a pre-Grammy party. He was talking about how, you know, he hadn't been in this kind of venue and this kind of large stage before. He was freaking out, but I thought the performance was amazing.
It was wonderful.
That was my highlight, even more so than AC/DC.
As a classic rock guy, I believed that as I was watching the show last night. I thought Steve is probably digging this with a shovel.
I was dancing in my living room.
Great.
How about you,
Chi?
Chi?
Oh my gosh, Beyonce, then going into Glory with John Legend and Common, hands down. There's a reason why that performance was at the end of the Grammys because for me it was snooze fest until Beyonce.
But you didn't like Sam Smith? I thought his performance was incredible.
I thought it was great, but everything was so slow. Like when I see Usher perform, I want to see him dance.
But Beyonce's song wasn't up tempo.
But
It was a
she's
gospel
the voice of an angel.
song, and just the ethereal quality of her and those around her. It was chill inducing.
Angelic.
The whole Grammys was kind of chill. It was, you know, a lot of slower songs,
And
a lot of that.
messaging,
Yeah,
too, about-
a lot of that.
But any big surprises that you saw? I mean, obviously we saw Kanye jump up
That-
there.
Yeah, I mean, that was.
He did his typical.
But was it a surprise?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
The Beck one was a surprise.
Oh, that-
Kanye
Yeah.
made it to stage doing that one.
Well, that wasn't a surprise. Everyone kind of expects Kanye to kind of be out there, but Beck winning was a surprise.
Yeah.
What award was most deserved, do you think?
Most deserved. I think the Sam Smith one, honestly.
And here's Sam Smith performing
As
right
much
here.
as
Mary
people
J.
talk about the whole Tom Petty controversy and did he steal the song, I don't hear it at all because you have to do so much to make the two songs sound the same, pitch them up and slow them down and all that stuff. I don't think he purposely did that at all. And I think he's almost like vindicated with this, 4 Grammy win
That's
for
a good
him.
point. You don't care about fashion. I know
Well,
this
you know
about
what? I will tell you this. Taylor Swift
Yeah.
looked spectacular.
Yeah.
She was
Beautiful dress.
she was the highlight of the evening.
Look at you. I only
at
say
that.
that to Steve because I've known him for 11 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And typically he's like, give me jeans and a pullover.
Well, that's
I'm
what he's
good."
got. He's
Well, I
got
mean, look
jeans,
at me. Come on. I mean,
Gee.
walking shoes.
Imagine that. I'm hiking later.
You're,
But you pointed to, you talked about fashion right off the top of this segment. So what stood out to you?
I loved Chrissy Teigen, who's John Legend's wife. That white dress was stunning. Taylor Swift looked marvelous. I loved Gwen Stefani's jumper. I thought that was kind of fun and edgy. And then Jane Fonda wore this bright green jumper, which was very Jane Fonda. I thought there was a lot of great things. And Rihanna, I love her, but ooh.
that dress.
Who was the woman that was dressed in the that had like the
you're
caution
doing with your
cone
hands there.
stuff?
Who's
No,
Who
it's
was dressed in the?
Excuse me. That's not what I meant. I promise. She had like like the orange safety fence on. Did you see?
Oh, yeah, I saw
That was
pictures of this morning. We'll
bizarre.
see if we can't dig around.
What
I
about
wanted to know where I
what's her
could get
bucket? That sang at the Super Bowl.
Katy Perry.
Katy Perry in the all white. Did you see that?
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah,
It was
that
a pretty
looked
moment
great.
too. Steve, I'm curious about your feelings on the direction of music. There for a while, I felt like there was an awful lot of reliance on technology, but now there's a bit of a return to some of these roots, right? In classic
To real
rock,
music.
I like to
classic
see
country.
Yeah, I like to see people with guitars in their hands. I like to see a band playing. It was one of the reasons why I really liked when Annie Lennox came out with Hozier. The two of them together, I thought, now that sounds
Yes.
like it's kind of moving towards that direction of rock again, which I miss. I thought the rock category was kind of weak, quite frankly. I thought it was a little, not really rock-like.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
could see that.
And Chi, you're younger than Steve.
No, not by much.
Just by
Obviously.
a year
So
or
I'm
two.
interested, what's your take on music? Do you still think that, well, the Grammys are current in terms of the performances. And did you, what type of, I guess, music did you like?
I love R&B and I love soul music. So I was a huge fan of Mary J. I just thought goosebumps just all over. But I agree with you. I mean, yeah, it's kind of nice seeing the guitar. I love seeing Paul McCartney. I wish his mic would have
Oh,
worked.
that was the biggest.
But I love seeing him up there.
That was the biggest
With
mess
Rihanna
up.
and
Yeah.
Kanye
Loved it.
during that
I wish
performance.
Kanye's mic hadn't worked and Paul McCartney's did.
Later on in the night, I hope you mean. The direction of when your listeners call in, I mean, Steve, you're more in that classic rock
Sure.
vein to where your songs are
Sure.
established, but Chief, for you, as channel audience members call in and ask for songs, are we on track here with the Grammys, or does this sort of set the tone for what that kind of feeds us in that
We
way?
kind of cater to everyone. I mean, it's pop culture, so it's popular music. So there's kind of something for everyone. Like there's people who love Hozier, who love Ed
Yes.
Sheeran, and then people who are like me, who are Beyonce fanatics.
Yeah.
And I just love it all.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love good music.
Yeah,
no
I
matter
do
what
too.
it is.
But I really like Sam Smith. I wasn't a huge fan of Sam Smith's. I mean, I liked his music, but when I saw him perform last night, I really thought he did
And
a
then
great
he
job.
said in one of his acceptance speeches, I had been trying to lose weight, and then I just stopped and decided to be myself, and that's when
myself.
people started listening. But I had one of those light bulb moments at home thinking, oh my God, he's so right for all of us. He was trying to be something that he wasn't, and he gave up on it, and boy, he got 4 Grammys.
And in his performance here, he wasn't trying to be too showy. He just
No.
performed.
And it was a beautiful, authentic moment, I thought, between him and Mary J. too. Just mutual respect there. A beautiful night there at the Grammys, even if it was a little chill. Thanks, Chi. It's great to have you here, and
Yeah,
Steve.
thanks, Chi.
Our
Always
pleasure.
a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yeah, good to
Thank
see you guys.
you.
Guess